If you're a business immigration professional, then you know that there's limited data about business immigration trends and statistics available to guide your decisions. But that's going to change today. We have something very special for you. Hello everyone, I'm Marcos Bravo, Brand Ambassador at Joorney. And look, we love data here at Joorney. We love to support our partners and the business immigration industry. And today it is my pleasure to share with you the inaugural US Business Immigration Market Report by Joorney. This is a special project that we've been working on to bring more data and insights to our community. Joining me to share it with you and discuss the meaning behind the data is Marianella Manzur, Partner and Director of Sales and Marketing at Joorney. We'll explore trends in US business immigration, identify emerging patterns, shifts, and developments. We will also talk about the different types of visas available for international entrepreneurs, investors, and professionals. It's going to be a truly invigorating conversation that you cannot miss. So, let's get started. And hello, Marianella. A pleasure having you with me today, going through this report, which is mind-blowing. The amount of information there is amazing. So welcome.
Thank you so much, Marcos, for having me. Yeah, I'm super proud of this report. We decided to do this U.S. business immigration market report because, we want to share knowledge. That's one of the key values here at Journey, and we have a ton of data, right? We have data from official sources, and we have all this data that's coming from our internal statistics. So we said, you know what? Let's share this with our immigration community. And have everybody see what we've found out about the industry.
At the moment, while we're talking, I'm sharing some of the, just like a little teaser of some of the pages. The reasons are obvious, and the amount of data. Where it's all of this data? Where does it come from? Is it from us, from like other sources, or like because it's a lot of data?
Yes, for sure. So we have official data. It's coming from USCIS. We have data from IBIS World. We have data from other government sources such as the Department of State, information from our partners, the visa bulletin, and much more. And of course, our Journey internal statistics. It's coming from the 6,500 business plans that we're doing a year for these immigration cases. So imagine the amount of data that is there. We know where people are coming from. We know what business models they're doing, what visa types, where are they being established. So a lot of different data that if we connect them both, that's where the report comes in. And that's where we felt that we had value to contribute to the readers.
I have a few questions about it, and I'm also going to be showing a little bit of the report. But if you're watching this, if you want to download the report, just go to the description of the video. There's a link right there. Download it and enjoy, because there's an amazing amount of data. So I'm moving forward. I just want to go to page 6 when we talk about this record-breaking filing of visas. Like what happened? Let me share that page while you give me an answer. But the amount of it jumped up so much. What happened?
Exactly. So a lot of this happened. We see a huge jump. If you see the numbers from 2020 and then up to 2023, you see the increase of more than 3 million cases that were filed, right? And then the other number in red is the one that has been processed. So if you see the increase, it's more than 30% from one. From 3 years, from 2020 to 2023. And then the important thing here is that the backlog was reduced by 15%, because not only more than 10 million cases were filed, but also 10 million cases were processed in 2023. And as I said, because of COVID, numbers went down, but then we see the uptick there until 2023. So the fact that this increase has taken place is important, but also the fact that immigration is making sure that things can get back to normal and increasing the amount of work that they can do from the USCIS standpoint.
It's amazing. The amount of how much they move forward in such a little time is definitely impressive. On the same note, what was the most common non-immigrant visa during that time? Like what and why? Why do you think it happened, and which one was it? I'm going to share that screen too.
Okay, perfect. So basically, as business plan providers, like to do a little explanation, we do business plans for non-immigrant visas and for immigrant visas. So within the non-immigrant visas, we have the E1, the E2, the L1, the O1, and then from these, if we see 2023, we see L1s being the highest. These numbers, of course, include L1As, L1Bs, etc. The only year where we see that there's more E2s than L1s was in 2021, and then after that you see an increase from L1s being above E2s. And I personally consider that these numbers have to do a lot with the fact that many consulates where the E's are usually being processed were closed, and this made a big impact on the numbers when people were finding options, right? Um, Within our numbers, we see also an increase in L1s, even though that's not the most important visa among other non-immigrant and immigrant visas, such as the EB-2 NIW, but we're going to talk about those later. And an additional thing that I wanted to mention is that not only L1s increased in amount and volume and were the biggest in non-immigrant visas, but we also see that denial rates decreased after 2021, also considering that there was a new government in place at that time. So numbers wise, the denial rate is 3.3 in 2023 as opposed to 18% denial rate in 2018.
Things are changing. They have to be, right? I'm a big fan of demographics, so I want to jump directly into where are all these visas coming from? Where are the continents that are applying for these ones, and what are the countries also that there are sort of popping up in your head, like what the most common ones that you see in the business?
Certainly, Marcos. So basically, Asia is the top continent for non-immigrant visas since the biggest country impacting the E2, for example, is Japan, and for L1 is India, which accounts for the highest numbers. Japan is always a mystery, though. Even though they rank first on ease, they are usually not businesses that need a business plan, which has to do with Joorney, but rather bigger companies doing E2 employees in industries such as the automotive industry. But yes, overall, we see Asia as the top continent if we're talking continents themselves. And if we see countries, basically, we need to highlight Japan on E2s and India with L1s.
Now, there's a big trend with the employment-based visas, right? When we've seen them in the report. What do you think the reasons are behind that? What's pushing the trend forward?
So basically, we see a big trend on employment-based visas, but what has to do with us is also the fact that the NIWs, the National Interest Waiver visas, are the ones that are increased. If you see page 15 and 16 of the report, Marcos,
Hmm.
you can review some of the reasons why that's happening, right? So first of all, the EB2 includes perm. So perm involves, it's a very complex process. It includes advertising the job opportunity to U.S. workers and telling immigration that there are no workers in the U.S. so that somebody from abroad can come in. And it also has to have an employer that's sponsoring that applicant, et cetera, et cetera. So the situation now with the NIW, or the National Interest Waiver, EB2, is a little bit different because it does not require a job offer from a U.S. employer, and it doesn't. I mean, you don't have to confirm that you're not seeing any qualified U.S. workers available for that particular situation. So because the EB2 NIW, the national importance, is being promoted in the Biden administration, what they want to do is retain foreign nationals that are in STEM fields, right? And what they want to do is that they want to bring in these people these applicants that have a lot to contribute to the U.S. So we see a lot of reasons. The EB2 perm process is being a little bit more complicated. There are more options for people for NIWs. Of course, if they're eligible, the employer does not have to be involved because it's a self
As
petition.
of so.
And there is also like more people applying now for the EB-2 NIW as an option because of that.
Okay, so there's a big difference between the EB2 perm and the EB2 NIW. So why do you think the NIW is really supersetting the EB perm? What's happening there that is it's just becoming so much sort of more popular? Maybe I don't know. What do you think is there?
So yes, so there are a few reasons. So while perm may cater to the needs of individual U.S. employers, NIW has a broader national impact. Perm is going to target specific hiring requirements, but the NIW is going to be for highly skilled foreign nationals to remain in the US and propel critical and emerging technologies as well as other STEM fields forward. So, as I was mentioning before, the Biden administration goals to attract and retain foreign nationals in the STEM fields. It has changed a little bit of the landscape of the NIW adjudications because of the dinosaur decision, which immigration lawyers know very, very well. Basically, the guidance right now is that the government is giving substantial weight to those advanced degrees in the STEM fields and also non-STEM fields. And the guidance indicates that the endeavors in these technologies and specific fields and people who have extraordinary abilities can show substantial merit in relation to these fields, and that they will have implications to demonstrate national importance, of course, if they are eligible. So this is a few other reasons. We also see that the distinction between STEM and non-STEM, right? So we have STEM, science, tech, engineering, and math. Those are like the most important fields, but we now see a lot of applications in non-STEM. So non-STEM is growing from 12,700 applications in 2018 to more than 22,690 in 2023, which is huge. So that's where things become more popular. You no longer have to be like a very specific nuclear scientist or something of the sort, but there
It's
are also
more
non-STEM
diverse.
fields. Exactly. So it's more it's broader. The opportunities
Hmm.
are broader. And then what I was mentioning before, the perm process is very slow. It involves an employer. And the EB-2 NIW is self-petition. It has these broader implications because of the support that the government is giving it, and also due to dinosaur. So this is making the EB-2 NIW more and more popular for many different applicants around the world.
And now going a little closer to home, as Journey, like how have you seen this volume difference with the EB2 NIW?
Yes, so the increase has been huge. And we actually included that graph in the report, not with the exact numbers because I mean for confidentiality reasons we couldn't. But if you see just the trend of the graph, it's like huge. We used to do E2s, that was one of our main visas, and we did some EB2 NIW business plans, of course, for those more STEM-like fields, and then suddenly things flipped. So right now, the EB-2 NIW is our top number one visa that we do for our clients. So it has become number one after the E2 used to be number one, and in a high percentage. And the team does an amazing job. I mean, the outcome, the deliverables of the business plans that we're doing for these types of visas are very, very impressive.
Has it been any big difference of where the applications are coming from, or?
Yes, we have a lot of applications are coming from South America. Uh, I would say that's around, I would say more than 60 or 70% are coming
Wow.
from different countries in South America. Yes, it's huge. This is all Journey numbers, of course. This is
Yep. Yep.
not numbers that has to do like with official department numbers. So internally, South America is number one. We have Asia as the second, but the second place is very further away. And then we have Europe, North America, as I was mentioning, Canada, and Mexico, and then we have Africa and the rest. But these are like the main geography is certainly South America.
Power to South America. There we go. What are the top three
Woo!
industries? with the EB2, going back to the EB2 NIW, what are the top three industries? Because you said, like, I mean, STEM used to be the top, right? But now is a more diverse world. Do you have any info? What are the three tops right now?
Correct. So basically, the top ones right now are going to be the first one is administrative management and general management consulting services. That's going to be the main one. Of course, I'm talking like about the broader umbrella where the business models fall into. Number second, we have engineering services, and you can find any type of engineering service. This has to do with construction, with oil and gas, with, I mean, different types of
So
fields
it's
and
not
areas.
just
They
software
vary, but
anymore.
they fall under engineer.
So it's not
Exactly.
just software.
So
Okay, cool.
in this second one, exactly, it includes many different types of engineering services. And then the other one is other management consulting, and a lot of different business models fall into this category. So I'm talking more about categories than industries. Um, but yes, I mean, what's happening here is that people are using the EB2 NIW to be able to make an impact in the US. And a lot of that impact is coming from their own knowledge that they're transferring from their studies, from their experiences, from their academic backgrounds, etc. So when they bring that to the US, a lot of these things are transferable through consulting services that they offer to other companies, to institutions, to education institutions, many different things. So this is a little bit broad, but when we dig deep into the cases, then we see those applicants and the incredible amount of work that they do and valuable things that they bring to the U.S. For like through this visa, fortunately.
And for the people listening that maybe you're thinking of applying one, do you see any other trends or like or any other industries that are trending nowadays with the EB2?
Yes, we do. So if we talk a little bit more specific, not like general industries, we can see a lot of pilots, and it's sort of a debatable topic. We had a webinar on this with one of the attorneys that we're partnering with strongly, and the reason why pilots started becoming like of national importance was because there was a huge shortage in pilots. But then after a while, that was not reason enough for the U.S. to accept a national importance case. It needed to have more. So of course, that's something that we dug deep into inside that webinar. So I would invite everybody to watch it if you're a pilot or if you're an attorney. So pilots is a big one. Software publishers, that's another big one. We have flight training, which has to do with the airline industry. And we also have information. We also have applicants such as logistics specialists, medical professionals, and a lot of different engineering like examples, like I was mentioning, that have to do with the oil and gas industry and more.
So I have a couple of more questions about like specifics. And we're going to get a little more into data now. But before that, I just want to remind everybody that if you want to download the report, just go down to the link in the description. It's right there. So just click on the link, download the report, and get all of the access to this incredible amount of data. So let's jump into something more specific. E2. What are the top three industries for the E2?
Okay, so as I was saying, E2 is like it is our bread and butter in the company, and it was our top visa for many years. The most important industries here, we're talking about residential property managers, so a lot of real estate. We have a lot of e-commerce, and we have a lot of restaurants. So those basically would be the top three.
All right. Now, the L1, which is like it was one of the first visas I ever learned about it. So the L1, what are the top three that you have in mind?
So for the top three for L1, we're talking about e-commerce and mail order houses, and we also have a lot of consulting services, very varied, and we have software publishers as well. So this is what we mostly see as the businesses that are being used within the L1.
And look into the future. I mean, obviously, the data is something that we can use in order to sort of foresee what's going to happen. So, what do you think for the future? What will be the top 10 of things that they might start becoming popular for these kind of visas?
So if we're talking specifically about the E2 and the L1, I believe that the trend is going to be very similar to what we've seen before. But if we're talking about EB-2 and NIW, I think it has to do more with what the government is planning to support. So here I see that anything regarding the airline industry is still going to be like important and popular. And I also see a lot of trends on anything related to machine learning, artificial intelligence, because the U.S. wants to make sure that they're leaders in this space. So if it means bringing in the key important people that are around the world that already have knowledge of this, we want to make sure that knowledge is being shared here in the U.S. and implemented. So that's what I see regarding the trends, especially on the EB2 NIW.
So STEM still sort of lead the whole idea, but it's diversifying as well, sort of down there, right? Like, I mean, we see more different industries, different things coming up for the EB, actually for most visas, really. So that's something that we can interpret, we can sort of figure out of all of this data. So once again, download the report, link in the description. And Marianella, I just want to thank you for your time. This report is, and I don't read too many things out of the internet, but this one was incredible. I learned tons about like what's going on with the visa situation right now in the US. So Marianella, thank you one more time for joining me today.
Thank you, Marcos. I really appreciate it. The team did an amazing job to put this together. Like I said, like taking information about different like from different sources. We also are sharing a lot of information that's coming from our own data. And there's a lot of information that is very important for immigration lawyers, that are interested in understanding the trends of what is happening with the visas, the origins. It helps them plan as well where they should be focusing on, or if they see changes in their own target segment, if they're targeting any specific country or region or visa type. It helps them get a little bit of a glimpse as to what's happening numbers wise.
Absolutely.
And then for anybody who's applying, who's understanding like the whole business immigration landscape, it's a good read to understand what's happening within the industry for sure. So thank you, Marcos, for letting me talk a little bit about our report. And like you said, I really encourage people to download it, read it, and also give us the feedback. We're happy to do this every year, and with your feedback, we can do it better. So
Absolutely,
thank
and
you.
looking forward to that feedback. And everybody, again, if there was anything useful in this whole conversation, make sure you subscribe to our channel, like this video, set up that little alarm bell to learn more about what's going on in the world of immigration, visas, and business plans. And this has been Joorney again. Thank you, everybody, for joining us one more time. My name is Marcos, and we'll see you next time.